Hi all, and welcome to my new video related to the blockchain. Especially we are now with this video at the half of the series of video that I'm doing in order to explain the blockchain. In fact, in total there are 15 videos, and these is part 8, and in particular step 4 uh, about blocks to order the transactions. We will see then which is the new problem that we have and which is the solution that Satoshi has found in order to solve the problem. This presentation is for educational purpose only. It is not a financial advice. As always, these are the two books I took information in order to create these presentations. As said, we are exactly at the end of the video. We have done more than half of all the videos in order to explain the blockchain. Let's discuss firstly with a summary. Let's do a summary of what we have done so far. We have now eliminated the role of the third-party administrator in creating accounts and in maintaining the list of transactions. The question is now, how do we multiple bookkeepers stay in synchronization with each other? Every bookkeeper will have a different idea of order of transaction. Given that there could be hundreds of transactions being created anywhere in the world, and given that it takes some time for this to fully propagate across the network, if every bookkeeper tried to put this transaction in order, there will be many conflicting versions of the correct order of transaction, as you can see in the picture. So also because geography, technology, connectivity, internet traffic, servers all influence the speed and order in which transactions originating anywhere in the world manifest themselves everywhere else. An order list of transactions in London is going to be very different from someone else's list, even next door, let alone in faraway places like Lagos, New York, Auckland, and Nairobi. um, we can control how many transactions can be created per second, but what we can control is the data entry into the ledgers. We can do this by recording transaction in batches, page by page, instead of transaction by transaction. This is the solution found by Satoshi Nakamoto. And we call these batches blocks. Here you can see in the picture that the blocks is not ordering transaction per transaction, but the block it's saying which is the right order for transaction. And blocks are created much less frequently than transaction, so it is more likely that a block reaches all bookkeepers in the network before another is created. It's more likely, not sure. We will see also in the next videos. And the bookkeepers will then perform two functions. First is validating and propagating pending transaction, and the second is validating, storing, and propagating blocks of transactions. By slowing down the data entry process of the bookkeeping system, bookkeeping then have more time to agree on the ordering of block of transactions. Once a transaction is bundled along with other transactions into a valid block, and that block is passed around the network, the transaction is said to be confirmed. Let's now discuss about the integrity of the transaction history. It can be said that the history of transaction data is the heart of any blockchain that manage ownership because it is the basis for reconstructing the state of ownership. It is necessary to keep the history of data safe, complete, correct, and consistent in order to maintain the integrity of the whole system. Hence, the blockchain needs to provide security measures to ensure that only valid transaction data are added into the blockchain. Examining validity of transaction data involves three aspects. The first is formal correctness. It means that the description of a transaction contains all the required data and the data provided in the correct format. The second is authorization. Only the owner of the account who owns of ownership should be allowed to advise the blockchain to execute a transaction on his behalf. And the last one is semantic correctness. The third, and it focus on of the meaning of transaction data and their intended effect. Hence, validating semantic correctness requires knowledge of the business domain. Examining semantic correctness of transaction data is based on business rules such as ensuring that an account does not hand off more than it currently owns, preventing double spending, limiting the amount of items that can be transferred in a single transaction, limiting the number of transactions per user, limiting the total amount of items spent in a given time period, enforcing that an account keeps an item for a minimum time period before it can be transferred. And with the idea, back to the topic of blocks, with the idea of blocks, we did a step forward in creating a decentralized system because the bookkeeper don't need to agree in every single transaction, but will need to agree on blocks that will be like a batches of transaction. But then the next question will be, okay, we slow down the process better, they have more time to agree, but who create these blocks and how often? These are questions for the next video. I hope you enjoyed it. With this, we are more than half of all the videos I will do related to explain the blockchain, and see you in one of the next videos. Bye.